Hello. Now I'm gonna make this quick, but doing here because I know there's a lot of people who are still kind of stuck, and it's warm in my house, and I had a sweater on earlier, but now I have a tank top. Hot. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the law of attraction and manifestation. Um, some of you may know that all last year I went through a struggle. Hello, is everyone here? I went through a real rough struggle, but the struggle didn't come from necessarily other people. It came from within. It was the struggle of accepting who I am and what I'm about and my calling and my gifting and letting people go energetically. Hey, how are you? Letting people go energetically who were only latched onto my energy and could suck my energy. Many of us in this community refer to these people as energy vampires, and it's exactly what they are. They're energy vampires. So, yeah, Spirit took me through a series of, um, how can I put it? Spirit took me through a series of, I don't even know how to put it. It was one thing after another. It was kind of chronological. But that's why I said, and I even mentioned, I was flat on my back for a good year or two doing this healing and inner healing and trying to figure out why I kept attracting low vibrational energy people to me. And what happened was spirit began to reveal to me the hooks. Well, I'll keep on watching. Um, Spirit began to reveal to me the hooks of where these people had gotten energetically connected to me. And when that happens, it usually happens through intimacy. One of the things that I have found is we just harbor so much, we almost get addicted to misery and being depressed. And not that we want that. Nobody wants to feel like that. It's just you get addicted to it and you don't know how to cut it off. So what do? We go to the doctor. We talk to the doctor. The doctor prescribes you depression medication or anxiety medication when it's a spiritual issue. It's something in your spirit that's actually sick, that's addicted to feeling bad. And if you can relate to this, please comment. We don't want to feel that way. We can't help it. We get stuck in this ruminating thinking of this is the way it's always going to be, and we begin to voice that out. One of the things that I've really touched on, and if you go back through, I read tarot, so I'm not a witch, I don't practice witchcraft. However, I told spirit back in 2006 I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people get free. Well, here I needed to get myself free, and spirit took me through the desert. I went walked through those dry places. I've dealt with shitty people. I've dealt with low energy. I was low energy. And it's still a struggle to get myself always trying to think in a positive state because when you're so we're born with this nature and most people can attest to this. We're born with wanting to hear gossip. We're kind of like we want it's when other people are happy and you're miserable, like you don't want to see other people happy. And that's addicting as well. It's when you come into realizing who you really are and why you're here, and understanding that you have a purpose and a destiny and a calling on your life for right now. And spirit begins to heal you and show you those places where um energetically you've been siphoned. It's in your energy system. Some people will call it a chakra system, which I felt certain areas, I felt these hooks in my body, especially in my heart chakra. I was brokenhearted at a very young age. I had to go back through childhood trauma and release it. I had to go back through ancestral trauma and had to forgive ancestral stuff that never technically even had to do with me, but spirit began revealing stuff to me. And I had to cut it off and forgive. And I understand that some people don't or can't or feel that they can't forgive the wrongs that have been done to them. But when you forgive that person for that trespass, it releases you. And it's not even forgiving for the other person. It has nothing to do with them. It's to unhook that hook and release that energy cord. And then you have spirit that can come in and washes that away. All those traumas and all that pain, it just gets washed away. It hurts. And there's a lot of crying that happens and takes place. There's a lot of release that takes place. Crying is actually, when you release and shed tears, so many people have been numbed to these feelings. We've been numb to just thinking that this is the way life is and this is how it's going to be. Nothing I can do will ever change. That's all low negative thinking. When you begin to start, how can I put this? When you begin to realize and understand your calling and purpose and why you're here, and you begin to express that and help other people and give love to those people who deserve it, especially yourself. Especially yourself. That opens up a whole well of gratitude that positivity can begin to flow through you then. When you're grateful for the experiences and the trials and the tribulations that you've gone through, there's absolutely nothing more liberating and freeing than that. Forgiving yourself. That's probably the hardest person to forgive, is yourself. I know this. I've gone through this. Forgiving yourself for making stupid mistakes, forgiving yourself for hurting other people that you didn't intend to hurt, but have. Nobody's perfect. We need to realize this. Nobody's perfect. We weren't called to be we live in a human, soulful body. Nobody's perfect. However, you begin to shine when you forgive yourself, you forgive others. And if you need help doing this, or you need help finding where these triggers have come in and hooked onto you, that you can begin to release that and get free, you'll begin to manifest positive things. That's called the law of attraction. You attract what you put out. If you're putting out, here's the biggest thing, your words that you speak out your mouth, it's a spiritual principle, manifests into reality. Your words contain power. If you begin to look at things as call into things that are not as though they are, and you begin to call that, you listen to spirit, you listen to that inner voice, and you begin to speak out positive, that somebody new, somebody who understands you, somebody who will love you for your flaws and everything that you are, will love you unconditionally. You just know it. You can feel it. And when that will shift your mindset, it'll shift into a positive state instead of being like, oh, well, I only ever pull in bullshit people. I can't do this or I can't do that. And a lot of times that came in childhood. A lot of times those mindsets were built in childhood, telling you you can't do this or you can't do that. Well, that's wrong. You can do anything that spirit tells you you can do. Anything. I don't know who's calling me. I apologize. Always. But those are some of the core principles that I want you guys to really begin to hone in on, is your self-talk. Hey Heidi, how are you? I want you to begin to really hone in on the thoughts that come into your mind. Take those thoughts captive that come into your mind. And we cannot control the stuff that comes in, but we can control what we do with them. We can control what comes out our mouth. If we begin to start, hang on. You're gonna, Sandra, you're gonna start seeing the positive things begin to manifest. That's what you have to do. Take those, whatever negative, you got to understand, dark forces are at work all the time. You have dark forces and you have light and you have angelic forces. We live in, unfortunately, our bodies are stuck in the natural realm. However, your spirit is in heavenly places. Your spirit is in the 4 and 5D, sometimes 6 and 7. We're ascending, people. And the thing is to cut off that negative self-talk and start saying, bringing in and pulling in the good things that spirit has for you. And that power of manifestation, I'm going to let you know something. It's a biblical principle. The power of the tongue. Speaking life and death is in the power of the tongue. You can speak life you can speak life into your situation, or you can speak death. That's negative and positive. That's the law of attraction. When I got chills when I said that. That's the law of attraction right there. You take those thoughts captive. Every single thought. They are words. Words are spells. What you speak over, dude, and it's hard when you're in a depressive state. It's hard when you've gone through so much shit in life. But when you can begin to reflect on those shitty things that has happened to you and turn it around into a positive and be like, I went through that for a reason. I went through it for a purpose, to teach me a lesson. And a lot of it is the power of manifestation. It's the law of attraction. You want to know what? I look at the narcissist I dealt with in my life. Whether it was in a relationship, whether it is through family, whether it was through work, whether it was through just in society in general, college. I actually have college degrees. I'm pretty damn smart. But when you begin to look at all those things that you've gone through and everything that spirit has brought you through, You're still here. You're still standing for a reason and a purpose. Spirit has not forgot you. When you begin to uncover the mysteries of spirit and how much God's source loves you, you are loved. Remember that. You are so loved. And it makes me want to cry. When you experience that, it's freeing to know that the higher power has your back and loves you unconditionally. Doesn't matter what you do, you are loved. And when you begin to, that's the problem with narcissists. I'm gonna get on a little narcissist tangent right now. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna go off a little bit. That's the sole purpose narcissists come into your life, because you're constantly outpouring all of this positive energy that you should be doing self-love and self-care to yourself onto somebody else, and they'll just suck it out and drain it. Unfortunately, like the way I look at narcissists now, I mean, fortunately, should I say, the way I look at narcissists now is they're a tool. They're a lesson that comes into our lives to teach us the value of who you are. They teach you self-worth and value of your energy and the positive things that you should actually be giving to yourself. Spirit loves you. We have a purpose and a destiny and a calling on our life to spread the word, which is positive love, love for one another. You know what? And even with narcissists and stuff like that, that they're just a tool. When you look at them in that mind frame, that bitterness begins to go away. Even though I here's the weird thing, because they work like clockwork. They do. I did a reading for Aries. It was kind of funny. I did a reading for Aries earlier in the week, and I mentioned about a possible Hoover. Well, guess what happened? Saturday night, the narcissist from Florida, he tried messaging me a few weeks ago. Well, I played off like I changed my phone number. Like it was somebody else who had that old phone number, which is whatever. But I just didn't want to be bothered because I cut that off. I cut January 1st was a new year for this girl. I cut it off. I cut off anything that was of painful that has hurt me. And I did it through forgiveness, but I also did it through saying goodbye to that old energy. And when I did that, guess what? I got hoovered. They feel it. They know when you cut them off. They feel it. And then they try and hoover back. Well, I live up north. I live in Pennsylvania. This last narcissist lives down in Florida. And yeah. He tried messaging me a few weeks ago. Well, guess what? He couldn't get a hold of me there, so he tried sending me a meme through Facebook Messenger. Well, my boyfriend wasn't having that. He felt my heart drop when I was like, oh my God. So the person who I'm dating now is another Aries. We get each other on a completely different level. He was dealing with the same type of stuff a lot of us are, going through cycles with people. I have my freedom, and I can be free to be myself. He knows I read tarot. I don't have to hide anything. Other people were like, kind of tried to downplay what I do. But guess what? Source backs me up every time. They can't. When you have the higher power backing you and they see it, it scares them away usually. Bye. If you don't like my spirituality, you can beat feet. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. Oh my God, do you want to know what? I get really upset with dark forces. I do. Exactly. Heidi, I exactly. And the thing is all I was pulling in for the longest time was these when I started cutting people off energetically, they'd come hoovering back. Every time they would find a way to get a hold of me. And I have one person from mm, I had to cut him off. And it was like, dude was like, "Hey, can you come and hang out? I want to apologize for how I treated you." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm good." Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, well, there's so many things that I look back on now with gratitude, and I didn't realize why I got certain tattoos um or certain things played out the way that they did, but I realized that it was all for my path. It was all leading up to this convergent point. And when you realize that and realize how much you are loved and sustained by source, that love comes within you and you generate that self-love through healing and through forgiving yourself, and that's why it's a biblical principle to forgive yourself first so that you could forgive others. It's all spiritual principles. The power of the spoken word is biblical. There's power behind it. I done a reading for Pisces back in it was during the lunar eclipse back in July, the end of July. That reading was that's where really things started shifting with my readings to come up to the next level. Um, most of my readings, I'm telling you right now, most of my readings are channeled. Yep, the cards back me up. Yep, I use cards for people. I pull the cards so that people who don't have faith, they have a visual. Not to mention, Spirit told me that there is so many people. See, I have so many Pisces subs. That's why dark forces have been trolling your guys' videos. Most of my, a lot of, I'd say a quarter of my subs are Pisces. I have a very special place in my heart for Pisces. Oh, there's an Aquarius. I have a very special place in my heart for Aquarius. Anybody who's in the upper echelon, for some reason, that's who comes to my channel. And it's awesome. I welcome you all because you want to know what? We're in this battle together. We are in this battle together. It is a spiritual fight. I got your back, folks. I want us all. See, here's the thing. Some people within the community want to keep all the blessings and all the secrets to themselves. And whatever. That's not me. I want to help people get free and stay free and begin to see the positive synergy happening and manifesting in their life. However, Spirit had to do it with me too, so that I could be a sign to be like, look, it worked for me. It happened for me. One of the other things, the person who I am now dating, he looks at me completely differently than he looked at any of his past relationships. Want to know why? This is good. Because when we started talking, he you know how guys, some men are, they get feelings and it scares them and they pull away. Well, guess what? I let him go. I let him pull away. I didn't blow up his phone. I didn't get scared. I didn't feel like I wasn't worth anything. I was happy with myself and I continued self-care and self-love and doing what I do, regardless of the outcome of that relationship. Guess what happened? He came back with a complete open-armed offer to be like, look, I want to be with you. You're the only person who has really understood space and how, you know, when a lot of women, I don't want to say women, but a lot of people, especially empathic people, we want to be loved so much that we end up falling hard and falling quick and attaching, and we end up almost choking the person. I know, I've done it. And I got fearful and I got scared when somebody would pull away. But I knew it wasn't me. Hi, Molly. I knew it wasn't me. That it was an energetic, people can feel that when you're latched on and like you don't want to let them go. No, but when you allow somebody to be when you allow somebody to be free and be themselves and let them figure out what they really want, whether it's you or whatever, but you're still going to be happy and remain in a positive state and keep your vibration high and continue to do what you do, that speaks volumes. My man told me that, like, I really want to say he said I played that card perfectly because I didn't chase. I let him go. When he was ready, he came back. Didn't take long. He knew. He knew from day one. It's just it scared him. So he's not scared no more. He's completely open. And he understood that what I was telling him about who I didn't hide anything. What I was telling him about himself was real, and it hit his core. It hit his spirit. And yeah, when somebody gets the truth, here's what happens. When someone's a narcissist and you begin to show them love and they block you off, it's rooted in fear. They have a fear of rejection, isolation, and abandonment, just like we do, because they've been traumatized in childhood. Usually they don't understand they can't love. They've made a pact with the enemy. That's why most of them are addicted to they're addicted to drugs, alcohol. That's why many of them gamble. That's why many of them have sex addictions. That's why many of them cheat, because they don't want to feel. It scares them. And it doesn't matter what you say or I say. The only way these people can get better is if I feel, because God can do anything. The only way these people get better is if they had a Saul to Paul moment. Boom, knocked off their high horse. A lot of times it's a near-death experience. Then I believe maybe, I haven't really saw it happen yet, but then I believe maybe they can change. Other than that, it has to be divine. They have to have a divine convergence with God. Boom, knocked off their high horse. And they know it. Trust me. Low vibrational people and negative people know they're negative. It is rare. I've never even really heard of any type of these type of people getting better at this point. But I believe as light workers, exactly. I believe as light workers come into their full, and the empaths come into their full capacity and power, that it'll drive away these evil beings from other people. I believe that. I really do. We're going to come into a power that dispels darkness. Yeah, it's the only way. But it doesn't, I'm not here to give anybody false hope. I say move on. I say cut it off. Pray for them. Pray for their healing. Pray for them to have a God moment, but cut off your energy to that person. It's through forgiveness. It's through forgiveness. Forgiving yourself first, then going through the healing and self-transformation. And then it frees you up to be like, you wonder what? That happened to me in the past. I learned the lessons from it, and turn that into a positive and say, you wonder what? I'm going to pray for that person instead. Hopefully someday they'll have their own healing. But anything you say, I say, anyone else says, it's not going to make a difference. I am going to be starting my channel on narcissism too. So now I'm in a more positive state to be able to talk about getting free from that energy stuff. And a lot of people within the community who talk about narcissism, they're still in a state of bitterness. Tell me I'm wrong. You can feel it. There's certain ones who aren't, and they're the ones who actually can teach and be a positive on you moving forward. And here's the thing. I tried. I actually took most of my narcissist videos down off this channel because I'm starting a new channel with a new energy and a new vibration. Last year was tough for me because I was dealing with so much inner turmoil from going through this healing and all this stuff coming up and wanting to hold on to people who just were not good for me. It brought me down. Even the last person I dealt with, it was too raw yet for me. I couldn't be in a positive state because I still felt so much, and I still was living in this fear of these people and what is behind it. I don't fear dark forces anymore. I don't. Unfortunately, that's what these people are driven by, demonic entities, just so you're aware. That's why they usually have substance abuse, gambling issues, money issues, just all kinds of issues. And they can't forgive. They have a really hard time with forgiveness because they can't forgive themselves, first off, for what they've put other people through or the mistakes they've made. They definitely can't forgive other people. And they ruminate and that's one of the things you'll notice about when you're around a low energy person is they'll just complain constantly. They'll constantly complain. And next thing you know, you're being drugged down with them, right down into the pit with them. Because you're sitting there listening to the bullshit and you're pitying them and you feel sorry for them and whatever it takes. And I'll do what I have to do to show you how loyal I am and how much I love you. That's bullshit. It should be an equal give and take of positive energy and positive output. And until you can do that for yourself and I had to come to the point, and I've said it on other videos and even on other comments. It's like I'm content if I die alone. I'm content if it's just going to be me and my kids. I'm fine with that. But it would be really nice to have a partner who's like this and this and this and this and this. I put the intention out there, and guess what happened? Yep. Somebody who's a lot like myself came in, who allows me to be me and who allows me the freedom to do what I'm called to do and not pull me down and not drag me into the pit. Instead, they encourage me and allow me to grow spiritually and blossom and bloom. You'll notice when you're dealing with negative people, you become negative yourself. It's just the way this stuff works. And then you draw more negativity into your life. And when you're around positive people and you're in a low vibration, tell me if I'm wrong here. How many of you have been so pissed off? Hey, Jess, how many of you have been just so pissed off, like other people are happy and you're just like, I'm talking about in a negative state, and you see other people happy and you're like, ugh, gross, makes me sad, rah, and you're negative about it instead of being like, I'm so happy for you. It happens. And then you're negative. And then next thing you know, those positive people don't want to be around you anymore. So you lose people. However, when you start being positive, you attract like a sucker. You attract people. And a lot of times it's sort of like the negative and like you'll attract negative and positive people. Those negative people want what you got. However, you can't let them affect you. You have to flip it around, not let them affect you, and be positive and speak positive into their life. That's what prayer does. When you pray for these narcissists and stuff like that, you're speaking life to them so that spirit can work on them without any regard for the outcome. But you're still staying in a positive state instead of ruminating over all the bullshit they put you through and all the hurt that they put you through and all the anger and depression and healing and hurt that you had to go through. I did this as like sort of like a channel message for February, but I felt like I needed to get it out. It's the month of love, folks. You want to pull in your divine partner? That's how you do it. Releasing those old cords, cutting them off, asking spirit to come in, cut that shit off, heal it in your energy system. Forgiving yourself, forgiving ancestral sins and that ancestral bullshit. Ask spirit to reveal it to you. Ask spirit to reveal, ooh, and I got chills. Ask spirit to reveal where that core initial fear came into your life so that you can forgive it and cut it off. Okay? That's where it all lies. And then when you begin to do that, you can start thinking in a more rational and loving, caring way, a more positive way. Dude, I had so many misfortunes that happened to me last year. I did. I've had a lot of misfortunes take place in my life last year. But it was all for my own growth. And I'm grateful for the failures. I'm grateful for that. And I know I'm going to fail more in life. I know this. But I'm not going to get into a place of depression. I'm not going to allow it to determine my future. And that's what a lot of us do. Oh, well, I failed at this. I'm no good. I'm the blah, blah, blah. I don't want to, And then when good things are happening to other people, you kind of get bitter about it. You're like, why them and not me? I've been trying it. Well, you're going through tests and trials and lessons to see if you can handle it. And when you learn this stuff and it becomes a part of who you are, guess what? You start magnetizing good people into your life again. Either way, that's kind of my lesson on the law of attraction. I hope it all made sense. I know it was quick, and I'm going to expand on a lot of this stuff at one point and piece it apart and give you other things to like almost like a workshop, I guess you could say. But I'm probably going to do it on my other channel once I start it, and it's more for healing from narcissistic abuse. I'm going to talk a little bit about what to look for, but that channel is mostly going to be about moving forward into healing and loving yourself and self-talk and self-care. I had to do it, and I'm doing much better now as a result. So I want to tell you all I love you. More than you know, YouTube has saved my life. You, my subscribers, and how caring and loving my community is, you're what kept me going. Thank you. So now I want to give back too. This is how we give back to one another. And it's that flow, that positive flow. Either way, yeah. I'm going to continue with the February. I'm going to get the February readings out here this week. So, I don't know when I'm going to do it, but at one point, just know that God loves you. Spirit loves you. Press in, do that healing work. Start thinking positive about yourself. Get your nails done. Get your hair done. Feel good about yourself and feel good about who you are. You too. You keep up the good work too, Heidi. We're all in this together. We're all joined together spiritually. So, just we got to kind of like pull the clinkers on dark forces. I know you are. You know what? Thank God for, like I said, thank God for the peace dealer. I told him the other day, I said, you don't even understand how much you've helped me. You have no clue what you're actually doing within the community. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, yeah. So, what I want y'all to really work on and think about is how you can turn the negative things in your life, write it out. How you can turn the negative things in your life into a positive. Either way, yeah, I told the peace dealer. I told him, I said, you have no clue how much this community has helped me. And blessings to him. For real. He brought a lot of us together for a reason and this time. Because you want to know what? A lot of us would be freaking lost if we wouldn't have each other. We wouldn't have our channel. We wouldn't have him bringing us all together. We'd be lost. I know I would be. He was a heaven sent and a God sent to me. So I'm going to let y'all go. I love you. I have to, it's so weird to say I have a boyfriend. It's weird. But I have to give him a call. And I will talk to y'all later. Okay? Mwah. I love you. I love you all. Like I said, how you manifest things is turning those negative things into a positive. Much love and light. And I will see you guys. I got to do, I'm going to finish with the fire signs. I got to do Sagittarius. And then I'm going to move on, I think, to the air signs. So, either way, I love you. Take care. And